Hi, Mark T. the Handyman here. Today we're going to take a look at this furnace motor, and I'm going to show you how to check the continuity on the motor, and also I'm going to show you how to check the wires here to see which wire is which speed using continuity, and all kinds of other different things. Here we have a 115 volt, 3/4 horsepower, 4-speed blower motor with a run capacitor. First, let's take a look at the blower motor label, which includes the wiring diagram plus all the information about the blower motor itself. So the first thing that the motor identification tag has that we are going to look at is the model number of the motor. Next, we have the horsepower, which in this case is 3/4 horsepower. After that, we have the voltage, which is 115 volts. Next, we have the RPM of the motor, which is 1075 RPM. Also, the motor identification tag lets us know that the motor is a 4-speed motor. Next, we have the amp draw of the motor. This motor is rated at 11.10 amps. Next, we have the rotation of the motor. You need to know the rotation because this motor can only run in one direction. On some motors, you have an option where you can switch the rotation, but not on this one. Next, we have the capacitor and the microfarads for this particular motor. The capacitor is rated for 10 microfarads. Also, the motor identification tag tells us that the motor is thermally protected. That means if the motor gets too hot, it will trip the thermal protection to protect the motor. Equally important to know is that your motor is having a problem and you need to let the motor cool down so the thermal protection can reset itself, and then you will be able to troubleshoot the problem, such as what made the motor trip on overload. It could be a bad capacitor, or maybe the motor is wired incorrectly. Next, on the motor identification tag, we have a wiring diagram for the motor. So if for some reason your tag on your motor is worn out or it's missing and you can't read what the speeds are, you can double check to see what the speeds are by taking the ohm reading. And so what we'll do, we've got the common wire on our meter here. We're going to hook it up to the common wire here. And we're going to check the ohms. The ohms are going to be lowest on the high speed, and the highest ohms will be on the low speed. So we're going to check this wire first. Going to turn our meter on. This is the common, like I say, and then we're going to switch that to ohms right there. We've got 3.2 on the black wire, which is our high speed. 3.6 on the yellow wire, which is our medium high speed. 3.8 on the blue wire, which is our medium low speed. And 4.1 on the red wire, which is our low speed. So that's a good way to tell or verify that this schematic is right. So for this part of the demonstration, I'll be showing you how I'm going to wire this up. I've worked with electricity all my career, which is 50 years. So I'm familiar with electricity and how it works and what it can do. I don't fear it, but I respect it. So what we're going to do is I've cut all these off that we're not going to be using. We don't want them to be just lying around. We've got the white, the black, and the green separated. And what we're going to do, the power is definitely off. We haven't plugged it in yet. And we're going to connect the green to the green using orange wire nuts here. And then the white to the white. And we're going to leave the white connected when we do all the tests. And then the high-speed black, and we're going to put it on the black wire from the extension cord. And we're going to wire nut these in. My capacitor is connected with the two brown wires. We've got that away from everything. I've got the motor strapped to my little workbench here. And I'm going to plug the motor in, and we're going to check the amp draw on the high speed. Okay, like I say, if you're not comfortable with electricity, do not do this. Here we've got everything in the position we want it. And we're going to plug this in. There's our motor. This is the high speed. And what we're going to do is we're going to check amp draw. And the amp draw meter is right there. Amps. And we're going to check the black. And right now we're pulling 8.4 amps on the black wire. And the white wire should be exactly the same. So that's our high speed. Now we're going to disconnect it. And we're going to take the black wire off. And the next speed is our medium high, which is our yellow. Now we're going to connect our power wire from the extension cord to the yellow wire with the wire nut. And we're going to put the wire nut here to protect the other wires from touching anything while we're operating. You can see his wires kind of jumped over a little bit when I started the motor. Here we go. And this is our medium high. We're still on the amp scale, and we're going to go around our yellow wire, which is 4.5 right now. So a little bit less amps on that. Now we're going to unplug, and we're going to change to the blue wire, which is the medium low. Again, our power is off, and the blue wire is here. So we'll put that wire nut on the yellow. That's my dog barking. Put the wire nut on. Again, the blue is the medium low. You've got that connected. We're going to plug back in. .7, so even lower. Disconnect that, and we've got one more, which is the red wire. This is our extension cord again. And as you can see, doing this demonstration, the wires do kind of move a little bit just from the vibration. Even though I've got this tied down there, it's not going to go anywhere. So now we're going to check the low speed. Plug that in. And our low speed is our red wire. And we got a 1.9. So as you can see, as you go to the lower speeds, the amp draw drops off. So we're going to connect the black wire. We already got the white wire connected and the ground wire connected. And we're going to see what happens if you plug the motor in. Now we've got the run capacitor off. And as you can see, nothing's happening. You can hear a little bit of humming in there, but it's not running. So that's why you need a capacitor. If you ever have a motor that's not working and humming, check your capacitor. This is a picture of our circuit board that I have specifically outlined with the red square around the wires from the blower motor. Next, we have a picture of the circuit board, except now the blower wires have been removed to give us a better view of how the circuit board controls the different motor speeds. On the top, we have the spot for the blower motor wire that is marked Park. This is where you would place the wire or wires from the motor that are not being used. It would be referred to as the dummy wire connection because of the fact that the wire is terminated or connected to this Park Stacon, which does nothing. Next, we are going to the low heat wire connection on the circuit board. This Stacon goes to the first stage of the heating cycle on this unit. This unit is a Lennox 2-stage heating furnace and a 2-stage cooling furnace. Next, we go to the high heat wire connection on the circuit board. This is where the second stage of heating on the furnace is engaged. Next, we go to the low stage of the cooling cycle, where we get the low stage cooling fan speed. The last electrical connection for the fan motor on the circuit board is the cooling high stage fan speed, where the fan is running at high speed during the cooling mode. So what we have here is part of the electrical schematic on the electrical diagram that came with the furnace. There are a couple of things that I want to point out. The blue circle is our fan capacitor, which is external from the motor itself. The green circle is identifying what is labeled as a low heat terminal for the fan motor on the circuit board. But on this drawing here, it is listed as an electronic air cleaner terminal. In this particular case, there is no electronic air cleaner. It is actually hooked up to the low stage fan speed. But the main thing that I wanted to point out is on the schematic, and all schematics, that they leave you little notes to give you more details about what's going on the electrical drawing. In this particular case, in the red square, you see a number 5 in a triangle. Throughout all of the electrical drawings or schematics on any type of unit, you will find these little notes that will refer you to details about the electrical drawing. I'm going to show you what the number 5 note is telling us. All electronic drawings on any type of furnace have these notes. I have highlighted in a red square the number 5 note. It explains the park terminal. Let me read it for you. Park terminal is an unpowered terminal. All unused motor leads must be wired to the park terminal. What they are saying is if you are going to use 3 speeds on a 4-speed motor, then you must terminate the other wires that are not being used on the park terminal. The reason for this is they do not want any wires to be hanging in the electrical panel without any termination point. I don't know if this is true for all manufacturers, but pretty much it is the standard in the industry that wires are not just coiled up and left hanging. And lastly, I have enclosed a picture of where the run capacitor for the motor is located. All external capacitors for furnace motors are always attached in some way. In this case, the capacitor is attached to the blower housing. And that is the end of the information on this video about furnace motors. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up or a like. If you want to see more of my videos, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. And don't forget to comment. I sure do like to hear from you. Thanks for watching.